In this video, I'm gonna let you know everything you need to know to land the job and money that you deserve. One of the common questions that I get is about the process, and here I'm gonna talk to you today about the exact process, again, to get the job and money that you deserve in the marketplace. So I don't care if you're tuning in from Russia, from Greenland, Australia, Europe, or South America, whether you're targeting multiple six figures, high six figures, or that $1 million salary, this is the exact process that you will need to follow. And if you don't know me, my name is Tim Madden, the CEO and co-founder of Executive Career Upgrades, where we help directors, VPs, and executives get the job, keep the job, and be successful at the job. So if you want to stay up to date on content like that is ever changing, do me a favor, smash the subscribe button below. Let's get started. The first mistake people make when they approach a search is they immediately go to Indeed, LinkedIn, the job boards, maybe update their resume and immediately start applying for jobs. So if you're in an executive search, I'm gonna tell you today the 5 tips that you need to follow no matter where you live geographically. Number 1, you have to be clear on your next target. After working with thousands of professionals, this is the most common mistake I see people make. They don't know what they want to do next. They don't know the title, they don't know the industry, the domain, or they don't know if they want to transition into another industry. So you have to be clear on what you're targeting. Some of the questions you can ask yourself is, hey, how much money do I want to make? Do I want to relocate? Do I want to work remote? Do I want to lead a large team? Do I want to be in the service industry, in the product industry? Do I want to be in technology, right? No one can answer these questions for you yourself, right? But you need to figure out what is your next logical career move. And it's different for everybody. There's people I work with that want to move to Minnesota. There's people I work with that don't want to be in leadership roles anymore. There's people who've never been in leadership roles, right? So it's always difficult, even working with a professional. You need to figure out what is best for you. Now, most of the time, I'll tell you, just a little pro tip here, when I work with people who've been in marketing for 20 years and they're like, geez, Tim, I just don't know what I want to do next. And I'm like, maybe you should stay in marketing. They're like, you know, I thought the same thing. So don't overthink it too much. But the biggest thing is you can't do everything. So be clear, what is your next career move? What industry should you be targeting? Now, if you're completely confused here, know that if you don't know where you're going, you're gonna get lost. So if you don't know what to target next and you have no idea really how to get through this process, do me a favor, go on over to execupgrades.com, schedule a free consultation with us. Other things you can do is seek out someone in your network, right? Maybe a mentor to ask for guidance. But the main mistake people make is they go to the job board, they don't even know what they're looking for, they're applying for 1 million jobs and no one ever calls them back. The biggest mistake people make. So hey, number 1, be clear on your next target, as clear as possible. I have to talk about this a little more before we move on to number 2, because here's what people also do. They say, well, you know, I could do this and I could do this, and there's 5 different things, so I need 5 different resumes. Let me be clear. No matter the one thing you're known for, there is hundreds of jobs open right now across the country, I assure you. No matter if you're an executive in private equity, no matter what you're targeting, there's hundreds of jobs. Do me a favor, listen to me, pick one thing, because here's why. You can have 1 million resumes, you can only have 1 LinkedIn profile. And if, you know, have all these different resumes and someone looks at your profile and it doesn't match up, what happens? People get confused, and what happens? They never call you. So pick one thing and target that. Number 2, hey, you have to be branded effectively. Do me a favor and work with a professional in this. You are not a professional writer, so go spend the $600 to $2,000, work with the trusted team to optimize your documents, because how you look online matters. The more professional you look, the more headhunters are gonna reach out to you, recruiters, hiring managers, etc. So number 2, that branded piece is super important. You need to be branded in the most effective way possible, highlighting your accomplishments and achievements. Make sure there's no grammatical issues, make sure it looks pretty, and make sure your LinkedIn profile looks very professional with a professional headshot, a banner, and everything. Do me a favor, hey, get some help. It's too difficult to do on your own. Number 3, you have to know how to generate interviews. When people think about generating interviews, they only think about what? The job boards, the things that don't typically work. So let me tell you here at Executive Career Upgrades where most offers come from. Number 1, 47% of all of our offers come from an automated system that targets basically a network on LinkedIn. So think about this. Imagine if you had an automated system getting your profile in front of 2,900 decision makers per week. Do you think that that would help your search? What if every time you saw an opening on LinkedIn, you could immediately reach out to the hiring manager with kind of proven templates telling them why they should talk to you? Because of this automated system, this is how 47% of all offers received at ECU, executive career upgrades, are done. 27% is using that system to get in front of people on LinkedIn, your whole target market. Let me give you an example. You're a director of marketing in tech, and you know that the person who's gonna hire you is the VP of marketing at mid-sized companies in technology. We can use the power of LinkedIn, right, plus the power of automated systems to get you in front of a lot of people. When people talk about the hidden network, the hidden job network, which doesn't exist, I'm telling you right now, here's what it means. You gotta get a hold of a lot of people, and you have to see where is the opportunity, because these people, when we get professionals in front of 2,900 people, here's what happens. Some of those people are thinking of firing underperformers, firing executive staff. Maybe in 60 days, someone's retiring and they haven't posted the position. Or what about a new vertical is about to appear, but no one's really talked about it, and you get in front of there. That's how we generate 27% of those opportunities. 20% is just figuring out a position open on LinkedIn and figuring out people that you can leverage so you can get in front of the people that can actually hire you. This is so important. 13.5% of offers who work with us come from your personal network, which is kind of funny. If you've been in the workplace for 20 or 30 years, and you're like, hey, no one can help me get hired that I know, you do not know what you're doing. There's no way you could be in the job market for 30 freaking years and not one person can help you. And trust me, recently I remember working with a guy named Gary last year. He was a chief revenue officer and he said, Tim, no one can help me. We sat down for just 45 minutes and built a list of people. Who was that list? Who have you worked with? Where are they now? What about the teams you led, the vendors, the executives? We built a list of 76 people. In 60 days, the guy had 3 offers for 6 figures, each of them 6 figures above what he made last time. So again, there is opportunity in your personal network. So another way to generate interviews. Again, remember we talked about updating your resume in LinkedIn so people can find you on LinkedIn. Another great thing, 8% of people are hired that way. And networking with people that you don't know. These are all of the way you can generate interviews. So let's recap: automated systems, reaching directly out to decision makers. Of course, there's job boards. My favorites, LinkedIn Easy Apply. There's your personal network. There's cold networking, and there's basically events and conferences. These are the only ways, ladies and gentlemen, that you can generate interviews, period, end of story. You need to know how to master this. But typically, that's not the professional's problem most of the time. Most people, right, if they kind of know what they're doing, can probably get on some interviews. Here's the problem though. Then you're competing against people that have the same degrees as you or better, the same accomplishments as you or better, and that's your competition in the marketplace. Who do you think you're competing against if you've been in the marketplace for 30 years? People at your level. They might have better degrees, they might have worked at better places, they might have more accomplishments, but the best person with the most accomplishments doesn't get hired. The best communicator gets hired, which means you have to know how to convert interviews into offers. You need to know, how do I get ready before the interview? What do I say at the beginning of the interview? How do I build objections? How do I figure out what's really important to them? How do I lock down those next steps? What do I say after the interview, right? Do you know how to convert those interviews to offers? It's so vital because most people can get on a couple interviews, but the problem is competition at your level is so difficult, which is exactly why at execupgrades.com we've actually developed an interview certification program so you know exactly what you need to do to beat out your competition. The last thing you need to know, salary and negotiation. Now definitely head on over to the Exec Upgrades podcast on Spotify, Apple, and everywhere on the internet because we have almost 150 episodes on how to get the job, how to talk about money, anything you could possibly think of. We also recently made a video on the YouTube channel, we'll continue to make them, talking about how to negotiate your salary, ask for more money, but this is so important. If you don't know how to talk about money, you definitely gotta leave some money on the table. These are the 5 critical areas that you need to know. So again, whether you're in South Korea, Russia, anywhere in the world, India or South America, you need, number 1, be clear, as specific as possible on what you're targeting next. Number 2, get some help around branding. Number 3, get in front of as many people as you can to generate interviews. Number 4, use proven tactics and strategies to beat out your competition because your competition is gonna be difficult at this level. And number 5, you have to know how to talk about money. And here's what I know about money. Most people want more of it. Let me know in the comments if that's you. But hey, most people don't know how to talk about it. These are things you must master, and it's very difficult at the executive level. So take this very seriously if you're approaching a search. And we actually have many free resources available over on execupgrades.com. I think there's like 20 free guides on there. So hey, you are welcome. Use those resources to get the job and money that you deserve. Good luck.